If you've met Michelle Cederberg, you know she's upbeat, positive, and definitely has energy. She began her speaking career 17 years ago with a mission to help people find excellence through better health. With a master's degree in kinesiology and years as a personal trainer, she is, by definition, qualified for the gig. Over the years, she has broadened her teaching to inspire clients and audience members to blaze their own path and live a bigger life in everything they do. Let's welcome Michelle Cederberg, CSP, as she helps us get energized for excellence.
In 2009, I met a man who, and there's really no other way to put this, he rocked my world. It wasn't what you're thinking. Although I was single at the time, I'd had a good year in business and a bad year in my relationship again. And so I decided I would take the month of July and go find myself in Europe. Now, that's usually the domain of 20-somethings, and when they do it, they're sleep and party their way across. I was 40, and when I did it, I ate and drank my way across. I had crepes and croissants and café au lait in France, and I had beer and bratwurst in Switzerland, and I had pizza, pasta, and prosecco in Italy. For a 40-year-old foodie, it was heaven, really. And it was in Florence where I met the man, wandering the halls of the Galleria dell'Accademia. It even sounds like a place for an intrigue. And let me tell you, he was extraordinary, tall and athletic and handsome, a hunter and gatherer of sorts, a strong, silent type. His name was David. And he changed the way I think about excellence. Chiseled, literally. And breathtaking. He stands 17 feet tall, and he's over 6 tons of glorious marble, and it's a miracle that he even came into existence. The block of marble from which he emerged was neglected for over 40 years, abandoned by 2 previous sculptors. The authorities interviewed many renowned sculptors, including Leonardo da Vinci, to save the project. But it was Michelangelo, 26 at the time, and a relative unknown, who said, "Give me the commission." It took him 2 years to carve the masterpiece that is David. And to me, he represents excellence. Now, if it's not David, it's somebody else or something else that you've witnessed excellence in an artist, in an innovator, in a sculptor, in Hallelujah at lunch today, in our fellow speakers, or in yourself, because it's in all of us. Michelangelo said, "I saw the angel in the marble, and I carved until I set him free." He believed that every stone had a statue in it, and it was the task of the sculptor to release it. We are all like that block of stone. There's excellence within us. There's excellence that needs to be carved out through hard work and focus, to be certain, but also it's going to come out more readily by the individual who believes that it's there in the first place. Excellence. And excellence requires energy. And that's what I want to talk with you about this afternoon. Some incredibly simple but incredibly powerful ways for you all to own your excellence in a higher level, and then harness the energy within you to carve your masterpiece, excellence. The quality of being outstanding or extremely good. I'm standing in front of an exceptional audience right here, and I expect with this group of people, you all own your excellence at a higher level than most. Fair assumption? So I'm curious, when was the last time that you pondered your own excellence? For many of you, it's been several times today, I'm sure. Really thought about it. So I want you to do that right now. I want you to turn to somebody next to you, maybe somebody that you don't know, introduce yourself, and take 15 seconds to brag about yourself. Answer this question: how does excellence already show up? 15 seconds, go. Have a quick conversation. Blow your own horn. If you haven't already done so, switch positions. Blow your own horn. All right. Do you feel the energy in the room? Come on back. Now, some of you are going to find that task incredibly easy. Some of you love to talk about yourself and your business and the things that you're good at. Keep doing that. Own it. There is excellence in that. But some of you are probably going to have a tough time singing your own praises, bragging about yourself, taking a compliment even. So instead, you'll dismiss or deny or discount, even if excellence is oozing out of you. My wish would be that you stop doing that. It's important for every single person in this room to own your excellence at a high level because we have important work to do. So I would suggest if you're one of these humble people that dismisses and, oh, it was nothing, for the rest of the conference and beyond, I want you to practice this. When somebody comes and gives you a compliment and tells you, hey, what a great book, or wow, I saw you on the stage and you were awesome, I want you to square your shoulders and just look them in the eye and say, I know. I rock. Now, if that's difficult for you to do, at least look them in the eye and say thank you. Let that gift land, because when you give it back, it's like you're not allowing it to happen. And the next thing you can do is think to yourself in your head, I know. There's power in excellence. It's important. So, but we are an aspirational group. So let's go one step beyond that. It's that time of year. I want you to turn to the same person and have a quick conversation about this question. How will you grow your excellence in the coming year? Quick conversation, go. Be bold. Feel the energy in the room when you get to talk about your goals? Do you feel the energy in the room when you get to talk about your aspirations? And I know that this is a conversation that you could have all day. We love to talk about our goals. And why does this even matter? Why does it even matter? I'm sure that you can all agree that this job, the power of the platform, requires a certain amount of excellence every time we step out, and a different kind of energy than most lines of work. Up here, we get good through practice, preparation, a certain level of natural talent to be certain, more practice. And with the right amount of preparation, anybody can do it, right? Maybe. Probably not. Because I believe that to be excellent up here, it starts first from the energy within. And if you're not clear about what you're bringing to the game, if you are not completely confident deep down within you that you actually have something important to share, it makes this work damn near impossible. We have to own our excellence at a higher level. Think about that. Excellence requires energy. And here's the thing I want to say about owning your excellence at a higher level. First thing you have to do is own it, because this climb is tough enough without having to start from a hole that you dug for yourself. And the second thing we need to do is harness the energy within us to be better. Now, Dr. Larry just finished telling you about all the reasons why health is an essential part of a good business and a fulfilling life. You probably made some of you think and feel that darn measuring tape, right? Yeah. But this is the thing. It's so important, and it's part of the work that I've been doing for over 20 years. I believe that personal health is the foundation for personal and professional growth. And if you do not have health as a part of your business plan, consider this. Physical health is going to help you be, yes, happier, healthier, and smarter, but it improves your creativity, your critical thinking, your problem solving, your confidence, your long-term memory. All of those things beyond health are good for you, and they're good for your business. So think about what you're doing to take care of your health. But I'm also curious because there's a massive amount of energy that comes to us through emotional wellness, emotional energy, and our mental focus. And if we could harness even a little bit of that, sky's the limit in what we're capable of in our business. My definition of energy looks like this: the current in you that informs your path forward. What you accomplish, how you feel, and what you believe you are capable of. In here. This business is not for the faint of heart. There's exhilarating highs, yes, but there are soul-crushing lows. And on the good days, you feel like you could move mountains. And on the tough days, it can be hard to stay emotionally invested. On the tough days, you can question everything, and you can feel like you're doing the wrong work and heading on the wrong track. You could be, thinking that business isn't coming as quickly as you'd like, questioning your method and your fees and everything, but you're hoping to hell it all works out because you're no longer qualified to get a real job. We need to be able to tap into taking care of our emotional health. Now tell me if you have ever been here with me. There's many a time when I have sat idly scrolling through Facebook, marveling at the accomplishments of all of my friends, marveling at the wonderful things that you are all doing. Really, you are a remarkable group of people. Another book, a great gig in an exotic location, a sponsor-filled live event, another book, a fantastic webinar series, another book, and I think to myself, wow, do I ever suck? And don't tell me that I'm the only one that's ever been pulled down by Facebook envy or sucked under by the soul-sucking social media comparison trap. It is so tempting to skulk around and look at our friends and their perfect online lives and then hold up that measuring stick. But what is that doing for your mindset? And what is that doing for your business? It's an energy drain, and I'm telling you right now, it's messing with your excellence. It's a tough one. There is energy in clarity. There is energy in knowing who you are and who you want to be in this business. So the next time that you get sucked down into that social media comparison trap, do what I do. Give your head a shake and ask yourself this question. Is what I'm observing in alignment with what I want for my work and life? If the answer is no, get off social media, get over it, and get on with your plan. But if the answer is yes, and you're feeling envy and generating excuses and asking yourself, why them and not me, then get off social media, get crystal clear about what excellence looks like for you, and then do the work. There's a book by Stephen Pressfield called Do the Work. And in that book, he talks about overcoming resistance to the things that we know we need to do to take our business to the next level. And just because we know we're going to get there with great things, it doesn't mean that the motivation is automatically high and we always want to do the work. Pressfield says the enemy is not the difficulty of the task. It's not the scope of the project or the state of the marketplace or the emptiness of our bank account. The enemy is resistance. The enemy is our chattering brain, which if we give it even a nanosecond, will start producing excuses, alibis, transparent self-justifications, and a million reasons why we can't, shouldn't, or won't do what we need to do. This is a tough job that we're in, and if we want to have excellence, we need to do the work. Speech prep is hard. Sales calls are tedious. updating your website, doing the blog, doing the vlog, doing all the things that we know every single year, year in and year out, that are going to take us to the next level. It's hard, and if we want excellence, we have to do the work. I'm so passionate about what action can do for your excellence that I've added another letter. You can decide what it stands for. If you want excellence, you gotta do what other people aren't doing or don't want to do. We all do. If it was easy, more of us would be doing it. Do the freaking work. And be yourself when you're doing it. Michelangelo said, if people knew how hard I worked to get to my mastery, it wouldn't be wonderful at all. Those of you who are finding success at a high level, you're making it look easy. But David was carved over 2 years, no doubt, through calloused hands and fatigue and pain. Michelangelo did the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in 4 years, standing on a scaffolding with his arms overhead and his head cricked back in conditions that he could only describe as torturous. Some of you make it look easy, but I can guarantee that those of you who are the most successful in your business are hitting it hard and doing the work every day in the things in your business that matter the most. We have to do the work. Anyway, this time of year, this is when we're doing the work for what's coming next. We have the conversations at CAPS, and we leave here with the big ideas and the big plans. Pumped! This year I'm going to get to it. Now, and I leave here, and we don't do the work, right? Now, you might do the work, but I don't always do the work. I leave here pumped. Oh, yes, last year I was motivated by Gary Maxwell to get back to doing video. I'm pretty good at it, and I'm married to a videographer. Should be no problem. I was motivated by Tony Newman to create my signature program. We had some great progress, and it's still a work in progress. My fault, not hers. I was motivated by Hugh Culver to do everything. If every one of us could do 1% of what he does in a day, our businesses would be booming, baby. Motivated. How many of you left Halifax last year with big good plans? Or Toronto the year after that with the best intentions to kick it to the next level? Oh, I made progress in a lot of things, in good ways. But full disclosure, I didn't do the work at the level I know that I'm capable of, and I know I'm not the only unmotivated motivational speaker in the room. Please tell me I'm not. We all have our days, and it's easy to tell ourselves we're busy. You're preparing for the next gig. You're on the road. You get home. You got to recover from the next gig. You got life stuff. Family creeps in. So the goals to build the business get pushed aside, and we chip away at them, and we chip away at them. But we don't give them the priority that they need and that they deserve. Think about what you need to do. This is the question we need to ask ourselves. What do you need to do this year, in the coming year, to take it to the next level? Really think about that. Really dig it in, because the energy came up when you started talking about your aspirations. It's time to start putting our action towards that. Think about it. And what do you need to do to make that happen, to hold yourself accountable? The last time that convention was here in Edmonton, it was 12 years ago at the Westin downtown. Some of you were probably there. On gala night, our very own Wayne Lee, CSP, did the hypnosis show on the evening. He chose 20 of us from the crowd, myself included, to be in the show. Now, if you've never seen his show, he makes you get up on stage and play instruments and dance in front of and hug people that you hardly know, and you feel foolish, but you just don't care, right? The end of the show, he chose one person who he draped across 2 chairs in a deep hypnotic trance and stood on. That was me in my long black gala dress. And then after that, he stood me up in front of all of you, had me manifest what I wanted most in the world, and he asked one question: what is your heart's desire? And I said in front of all of you, CSP. Now, I had only been in CAPS for about 2.5 years. I was still a part-time speaker, so the idea of CSP seemed like a long and impossible goal. But I never forgot it. I never forgot that I'd proclaimed it in front of all of you, and somehow I didn't want to let you down. Most of you might not even remember, some of you don't care, but I never forgot. 1 year later, I went full-time as a speaker, and 5 years after that, I earned my CSP. And I do believe it's because I had within me that belief that I needed to get it accomplished because I'd said it to all of you. There is power in accountability, and there's power in public declarations. So why don't I do that right now this year? I'm proclaiming that I am going to write my next book this year. I am going to finish my signature program, Tony Newman, and I am going to do 52 videos in 1 year. That's one a week. And if you don't think that scares me a bit, it scares me a bit, because you have to choose goals that are just a little bit scary, because everything good happens outside the comfort zone. Be yourself and do the freaking work and be yourself when you do it. There's energy in authenticity. When I was asked to be on the stage, I was freaking out. It's like, oh my gosh, all the people that have been here before me, how am I going to come up against Jerry Latimer and her amazing soul-sharing, dance-inspired session last year, or Joe Calloway in 2004 with his Let It Go speech. I know it was 12 years ago, but I can't let it go. It was that good. Or Vince this morning with his authentic, vulnerable sharing. Wow! And I had to be reminded by many of you, I can only be myself. We are simply the best when we are ourselves. There is energy in authenticity. Think about who you want to be in this business. Think about who you are and how you want to bring yourself to the table. There are hundreds of replicas of David all over the world. There are 2 full-size replicas in Florence, where the original resides, one up at the Piazza di Michelangelo overlooking Florence, and one down in the town in the Piazza della Signora, where the original once stood. Both cast from the original and magnificent in their own way, and yet I stood in line in the sweltering Florence heat for 2 hours and paid €15 to see the original in person. How many of you have witnessed the original inside the Galleria? So you can attest to his beauty. He stands at the end of a grand hallway all by himself, and when I came into the Galleria and laid eyes on him for the first time, I gasped. My heart started beating, and I actually stood and stared at him for a good long while. It is what Vince called one of those soul taps. And I can't explain why this happened, but I looked at him and it made me want to be better, and it made me want to do better. What do you need for that in your life? It's important work that we all do. We are one for certain, but you are an original. And so this year, as we're heading into another year of being able to do this fantastic work, make a pledge to yourself to create and identify get energized for excellence in your own inimitable way. Make a pledge to yourself to determine what successful looks like for you in your work and your life. And don't forget to have fun and have the health part into it. And when you leave here, make a pledge to do whatever it takes to get the things done that you know you need to do to knock it out of the park in 2017. We have work to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping that you will get clear and that you will be yourself and that you will do the freaking work, and you better believe that there's energy in that. Thank you.